Hola amigos, bienvenidos a Benny's Flight Sim Stuff. Espero que todos hayan estado bien. Muy bien. Hello friends, welcome to Benny's Flight Sim Stuff. Hope you've all been doing well since the last time you checked in on me here. What we're doing in this video, which is our Puerto Rico adventure video number dos, um, is we're going to fly from Fernando Luis Rivas Dominici in San Juan over to the south side of Puerto Rico, to the Caribbean side. We're going to fly to Mercedita, and that's down here by Ponce. We recently were in Puerto Rico and drove down to Ponce, and I drove by this airport because whenever I travel, I like to check out all the airports if I'm near one, so I can check it out and see how it compares to my sim when I get back. I'll see how good it looks. Luckily, I found some scenery for Mercedita, the the airport that serves Ponce. It's got a control tower. They used to have, I'm not sure it's still active though. It doesn't say on the charts that it is still active. But it actually has service from commercial service from, they had flights from Florida and stuff coming in here. They have a terminal with a couple jetways. It's a nice airport. I mean, it's pretty nice. Okay, we're going to be leaving. We'll be leaving San Juan, Dominici. I'm going to stay. This is classy airspace, so I want to stay right here. I'll be leaving VFR, so I'm going to want to maintain uh, 1,000 feet until I'm clear of Class C. Then I can climb enough to make it over the mountains. It's a 38 nautical mile trip. It's at a 238-degree bearing, magnetic bearing there to Ponce, Mercedita. I recently got a scenery. I bought a scenery for that. I was looking for all the sceneries I could get for Puerto Rico, and there's not too many that I could see. I mean, I already have the San Juan International, the Luis Munoz Marin Airport. It's great scenery, and I got one for this. I found one for this, so I got it, and I'm gonna go check it out, see what it's like. It'll be pretty good representation of what, should be a pretty good representation of what it looks like. So that's the plan, folks. So if you want to ride along, see some beautiful landscapes on a 38 nautical mile journey. Oh, did I forget to tell you what we're flying? I'll show you. Here it is. It's a Waco YMF-5. And it's a newer one, of course. And it's beautiful. And let's take you on a walk around. This is it here. She is a beauty. Let's go. Walk over here. Look at that beautiful prop, huh? Just look in there. That beautiful old radial. This thing's not even leaking oil. It's unbelievable. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that. How pretty is this? How pretty is this? You talking about fun? We're gonna have fun flying this over there. This is the way, the only way to see Puerto Rico. Look at that gorgeous thing, huh? There it is. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so let's get in and get her ready and we'll get cranked up and get her going. What do you say? Get going and have a nice little flight over there. You know, if you notice, it's starting to cloud up, and the wind is really heavy today. This is actually live weather here, and I can tell you right now, I am not going to fly that tail dragger in 22 knot gusting winds with a 19 with a well, listen, what was that? Let's listen. Let's see. Avionics is on already. Let's see what we got to listen to here.
Ski. Fernando Luis Rivas Dominicsi Airport, Information Whiskey. 1845 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 09er. Wind 100 at 16 gusting 22. Visibility 10.
I don't think
Scattered
so.
At 3,000. Scattered at 5,000.
Look, you see how beautiful this plane is? There's no way I'm going to be flying a tail dragger, which I don't normally fly, which is going to be bad enough. I'm not going to be flying those type winds. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go get a cup of coffee in the FBO, and by the time I come back, this weather's going to be nice. I guarantee it. All right. So before we get cranked up, I'm going to kind of do this in a way everybody can see what I'm doing when I crank this thing up, when I crank up this beauty. And from this view, you can see my setup. And I can say that when I fly a biplane or any warbird that might have, that doesn't have a yoke in it, I use, if it has a stick, control stick like that, as you can see, if it has this control stick, then I use my control stick, which I have in my sim setup. And as you can see, I can take it and fold it back underneath there when I'm not using it. If I fly an aircraft that has a yoke, I have my Brunner right here. Now this yoke is absolutely fantastic yoke, because when I fly on the sim, this is what's called a force feedback yoke, and it actually is programmed. It feels like you're flying a real aircraft. It senses the uses programming, and it senses what the sim is telling it it's doing. If you're hitting bumps, if you're hitting turbulence, if you're making a left turn or right turn, and it's programmed for every type of aircraft. You can also program it yourself for the forces you want to feel, but it's very much like flying a real aircraft, and it's exactly like it on some of the small aircraft that I have flown. This is exactly like you're going to feel the same forces, and you'll feel it when it's buffeting, stalling, anything like that. It's force feedback. It's absolutely unbelievable. Makes it so realistic. And my rudders are very, very good rudders pedals. They're very realistic. They're not force feedback, but they are very stiff, and you can change the springs. It gives you enough feeling of reality there that it's neat, very neat. But the Brunner, I can't fly without this anymore, hardly. Now this is not a force feedback yoke that I'm using here. This stick, this throttle here, or not a throttle, but the TA, it's called. Here, let me take us outside, and I'm going for this, but I'm not using this. I'll give an example of this right here first, before I show you. I'll turn it on. Use this. I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to get programmed up. It goes through a cycle, and you can see it move. You'll watch it move itself. You can see it move. It comes to life. It goes through its cycle. See it? It's moving all on its own. It goes out. It goes through all of its axis. And now it's ready to go. And what I do is I go into a program for whatever aircraft I'm flying, and I put that program on there. I go to that profile, and it loads the profile for the aircraft I'm flying. See, this is very stiff right now. But I'm not using the Brunner today. I'm going to use, we've got a stick in here. We've got a stick control. And so I'll turn the Brunner off. This is what I do when I'm not flying an aircraft that doesn't have a yoke. I'll turn that off. We can push that forward, and it's not being used. See, it's not being used. Now I'm flying aircraft with a stick, so it's a little more realistic. I'm using a stick. I'm pulling back. I'm using this stick. Now let's go outside and take a look. Now, if you notice what's happening here, if I move this stick to the right, see what's happening here? If I move it to the right, it's moving my ailerons. Moving them up, the wind hits the ailerons, pushes the right wing down. If I move it to the left, same thing. Left aileron goes up, wind forces push the wing lower, and at the same time, the right aileron is down. That helps twist it in that direction. Now, if I pull back and forth, forward and back, our horizontal stabilizer here, this is our vertical stabilizer, our tail, that has our rudder. Half of that's a rudder, see? That's your yaw. Our horizontal stabilizer, which is this portion of the aircraft, has our elevator attached to it. And that elevator, when I pull back on the stick, the forces of the wind push the tail down. That makes me go up. That makes the nose of the plane rise up, and you start climbing higher. And if I push it down, the forces push the tail up, point the nose down, and you start descending. So that's how this thing is controlled. That's how aircraft are controlled, these airplanes. This old beauty here is working with this. So I'm using a stick for this one. And this is a steerable tail wheel. I mean, it casters. So, and I'm not usually flying tail wheel aircraft, I can tell you that. It's a whole nother ball game. Makes a much better pilot out of you when you do. I've only flown one, and that was a big honking T6 Texan. And I did 7 takeoff and landings in it. And if it hadn't been for the instructor in the back, it would have been in a heap on the side of that field. But we made it through, and it was an awesome experience. And that's what this thing sounds like it. This big radio sounds like it anyway. Okay, so anyway, here we are. We're going to get her cranked up. And if you can see what I'm doing inside here, I'm going to first, well, let's look around. As you can see, everything I've got here, I've got it set up pretty much. Tried to make it, look at this throttle. See, now my throttle quadrant's on the opposite side of what this would normally be. So I'd normally be, if I was really in this aircraft, I'd be using the throttle quadrant with my left hand and controlling the aircraft with my right hand for the stick. But that's not how I have it set up on this. This is my sim. My sim has it on this side. So this is my throttle. This is my mixture here, okay? This is an alternate air thing. I'm going to put that closed for right now. All right, so here we are. Oh, one other thing. I want to show you something. I don't know if you saw it before when I showed people my sim setup. I have a setup so I can fly multiple aircraft. This is the only thing on this aircraft I'd use this portion for would be airspeed. This simulates that HSI right there, or uh, compass, but the I have my transponder buttons over here. I don't think this has this does not have a tablet. So I would, and other aircraft. My COM2 from my radios, which are over here. I do have COM2. I can go from COM1 to COM2 on here as far as the receiving, transmitting on my radio. And that's about all I use this portion for. This portion I will use, of course, has a that's my starter. Oh, that won't go off. Key switch. As you can see, it really does have a key switch. So anyway, and this down here, I don't know if you can see this down here, this is called a butt kicker. And what this does is I have a program to a certain tolerance. You can make it stiffer or less stiff. This is a fantastic thing here. This actually uses what's called haptics. It uses sensors. It senses what the sim is telling it it's doing, like the airplane. If I go through if I'm in rough air or bumpy ground or go from grass to gravel or anything you're in, this lets you feel it in your seat. Petey, go lay down. Lay down. This will let you feel it in your seat. My chair here, my seat, my pilot's seat here, underneath of it, there is a what's called a butt kicker. It's a big vibrating magnet. It's like a magnet, but it vibrates when it senses conditions in the sim. It'll vibrate. So if I'm going over a bumpy, it's going to vibrate. You can make it, and it'll do it. If I land hard, my seat's going to be moving hard. It's fantastic. My bottom of my seat will be moving very hard, vibrating. If it's smooth air, you hardly feel it at all. So you can adjust the level of what you want to feel. I'm glad. All I can say is I'm glad I don't live in an apartment anymore. I'd be getting a lot of complaints. But I can't go without that anymore either. Once you put this on your sim, if you use a butt kicker or force feedback yokes or rudders or anything else, it starts just getting so fantastic. And also, this is my sensor. This is a Tobii. It's called a Tobii eye tracker. I have it more for head tracking than eye tracking. You can adjust both. It'll track your. I have a button set up over here where I can turn it on and off or hold it. As you can see, it's tracking my eyes or my head movement. So if I look to the right in my sim here, I'm looking to my right of the airplane. Look straight. If I look left, I'm looking left. I'm looking at the left wing. I'm looking outside. I'm gonna look up. I can look down. It makes the immersion unbelievably more realistic. So it's fantastic, is what it is. I love that. I love the Tobii eye tracker. I've had other ones, but they're not quite as good as this. But you can adjust it once you get the adjustments down. I have a tendency to move around, and the video and everything's moving around, jerking around because I forget my Tobii's moving along with me, So sometimes I'll try to, if I'm writing something down or if I'm doing something in the cockpit, I'll try to, let's just say I need to remember more often to stabilize it. So whoever's watching the video, when I look at the video later, it's not all over the place, making people sick. So anyway, this Wacko YMF5 is what we're taking. And we're gonna crank it up here, and like I say, this is my throttle quadrant. This would be a landing gear handle if I had landing gear in any other airplane, or a flap handle. This plane has no flaps, has no landing gear, retractable landing gear. But it does have a lot of lights and strobes and a little more modern avionics and things. This is our primer down. It's a primer. That's actually a brake. That's a brake. Doesn't have a primer. It's probably got a dang. This is our brake, and you can see I can use it. I can work my brake from right here. See, I just released it. Now I park and brake. You notice the rudder pedals going up and down. See, like that. Yeah. These two handles are left and right fuel shutoffs for the wing tanks. And when I turn them on, I turn this on. No, that's my fuel pump, sorry. Do I have, yeah, I do. There we go. So my fuel, I can cut my fuel on and off. When I turn the fuel on to start the plane, I'm going to hit that. That'll turn them both on at the same time. If I want to turn them off, I hit that one. That turns them both off. This is my fuel pump switch here. I have fixed up for that one. Battery, alternator, avionics switch, and of course all my light switches. This is my beacon light. See it? Strobe light, nav light, and so forth. Taxi, landing light, pitot heat, and so forth. I do use this to adjust my altimeter setting. As you can see, I can adjust my altimeter setting right here. What you do is you adjust your barometer to the local barometric pressure that you're at. So before you fly, you'll see what the barometric pressure is on their ATIS, which is your weather broadcast, and you'll put it into you tune it into your Knowlesman window here. They call it the Knowlesman window. You tune that in, and it adjusts it, and when that's correct, that'll be your proper altitude. So right now on this field, we're in an elevation of maybe 10 feet, and that's reading correctly. So we're actually at about 10 foot above sea level right here. So, and let's look on the actual chart, and it says elevation 10 feet. It tells you all that information you need to know right there. 10 foot. Airport elevation, 10 feet. So, if you know you have a good altimeter anyway, and you don't know what the barometric pressure, you have no way to find out what the barometric pressure was. Say you're on a little old field somewhere that has no weather, you can either try to listen to a broadcast or find a barometric pressure reading from somewhere nearby. And if you can't even do that, if you know the elevation of the airport where you're sitting, which you should, if you're a pilot and you're flying an airplane anywhere, you should know what the elevation is of whatever you're sitting on. So if you got that, which is in your right here, everybody's going to have their information. It's everywhere. So you get your information, you find out what the elevation of the field is, whether they got a weather report or not. And then you can just set it to the elevation. Don't worry about looking at the barometric pressure. Let's say it was like this. We don't know what the barometric pressure is today, and we have no way to find out. But we know we're sitting at about 10 feet. So each one of these graduations is 100 feet. So each one is 20 feet in between each one of those altimeter readings, markings. So if it's 0, you're going to be within 10 feet. So you can put it down to 0 if you wanted even. And there you go. We're at 0. You can move it one little tick to the right, and that'll probably be like 30 feet, So you just have to play with a little bit, but you're very close to being what you need to be at. That may even be closer than some of your barometric pressure readings. So, but anyway, I thought I'd just let you know that. Somebody had asked me about that, and I love showing people that stuff. Anything they need to, if it interests them, I love to be able to help them if I can. I mean, I'm not. It's not like I'm Chuck Yeager or somebody, but I am a pilot, and I've been a pilot for many, many years, and a VFR pilot, and a make-believe IFR pilot. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It helps me when I show people these things too, or when I tell you about it, when I talk about it, because refreshes your own memories. Okay, I told you the weather's going to get better, and there it is. It's beautiful. Let's have a look. See, huh? Let's have a look. Look around. Look at that. It cleared right up for us. It knew we were going to want to take a beautiful VFR flight. So there it is. All right. Let's get this thing cranked. What we have to do is call ground control and get our, basically tell them what we're doing and ask permission to get out of here. And then they will tell us which runway and take it from there, and they'll tell us when to call the tower, and we'll call the tower, and then the tower will tell us if we're clear to take off, and then off we go. And they may hand us over to a approach controller or departure controller and tell us to bug out later on. So while we're in and around the controlled airspace, the Class C airspace of San Juan, they like knowing everything. They want to know where you're at, what your altitude is. So there. So let's get this flight started. A lot of activity out there today. It's beautiful. Everybody came out flying. It's always like this. When the weather turns nice, airport lights up. Especially for us VFR pilots. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's turn our battery on. Battery master. Go ahead and hit the alternator switch. All right. Let's close our or open our fuel valves. Both of those are on. Fuel will be flowing. Let's just put our mixture to the rich position. A little bit of throttle action here. Let's turn our fuel pump on. Okay, we'll turn that on. And let's turn our beacon on so it'll start flashing light underneath there, so anyone around here will know what's going on. It's kind of a stay away feature. Yeah, you see the light flashing? Something's getting ready to happen. Alright, then we're going to scream to clear our prop. That means everybody out of the way, or you're getting ready to be made into some Swiss cheese or something. Okay? Or grated cheese. We don't want that to happen. So you'll be clear. Okay, so let's crank her up. Let's get her going.
Clear prop.
There we go, and hit it. Listen to that beauty purr, huh? She's beautiful, beautiful. I love the sound of a radio. Okay, let's turn our avionics on. So what we'll do here is, see, remember I was talking about our transponder. Let's turn that on to standby. So this is our transponder over here. Let's turn that on to standby. There it is, standby. So we'll let that's actually a VFR code there, and it's telling them when it's not on right now, but when it comes on, the code will tell the controllers and radar controllers and everybody that you're flying at visual instrument conditions. So you should be at a certain altitudes. and things. So let's see. When they give us a code to depart, I will turn it on, and I will also turn on the altitude feature so they'll be able to read my altitude. Okay. Well, that sounds good. Let's. All right. I'm not going to go through all the mag checks and all that stuff. So what we'll do is we'll turn on our nav light. We will turn on our taxi light. All right, now we'll dial in the ATIS, the weather information, automated terminal information service, and that's going to be, we look at our chart here, 120.4, 120.4. See what the weather's saying. What's it telling us? It's going to tell us something totally different than what we're looking at right now.
Asian Sierra. Fernando Luis Rivas Dominicsi Airport. Information Sierra. 1245 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 09er. Wind 100 at 8. Visibility 10. Scattered at 3000. Scattered at 6500. Temperature 30. Dew point 24. Altimeter 3001. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Now we're dialing in tower frequency, so I'll be ready for that one. 135.87, 135.87. There it is. 135.87, so I can swap those frequencies with a push of a button. Okay, if you noticed, it's really not that bad weather right now live, but it's still real hazy, and the wind's not that bad, but we're going to leave it like it is, so it'll be a nice, perfect, beautiful flight, because I'm pretty sure the takeoff and the landings will be interesting enough without all the wind and everything else. Okay, so we're going to call ground. We're going to get our clearance to taxi for departure and get our departure information. All right. So let me call them. Oh, right here. Right. Isla Grande Ground, Waco, November 9065. Papa Tango's on the southwest ramp near the FBO with information Sierra. Requesting a VFR departure to Mercedita, VFR at or below 4,500 feet.
Waco 5 Papa Tango, on departure, maintain VFR at or below 4,500. Departure on 119er decimal 4. Squawk 4373.
Alright, cleared VFR at or below 4,500. Departures on 119.4. And squawk 4373 for 5 Papa Tango. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting my code that he gave me, 4373. The code he gave me is 4373, so I put that into my transponder down there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put that on altitude right now. There we go. So now it's reading on screens. It's reading on radar screens right now. And it's gonna relay my altitude. It's pinging me. This aircraft right now. It's pinging this aircraft, telling air traffic control right now I'm alive to them. I'm a known entity to them right now. Okay. As far as the departure frequency, that's going to be another controller. After the tower hands us off, that's who I'll talk to until we're out of the area. And then once we get over to Mercedita, I'll just dial in the local traffic advisory frequency, the normal frequency for that airport, because their tower is not active over there. So, all right, let's see how this does. Oh, one thing I want to do is I do want to put my bug on my heading indicator. Let's see, 238 degrees. Let me zoom in here. Show you what I'm doing. Got a bug. I'm putting this. It's called a bug. It's a little marker, so I'll know at a quick glance. Right there's 228 degrees. There's 220, 240. 238. Yeah, I want to put this bug on 238, okay, which is almost 240. So let's say right there is what? This thing's not moving. Okay, right there is 240, and just one little notch back will be about 238. So it's showing that that's going to stay right there. When this compass starts to move, when the rose starts moving around, that marker will stay on it, and I'll keep that marker lined up on the top of that, mark, right on top of that instrument there, and you'll that tells me direction I'm flying as far as my heading with the bug. So if I'm off track any left or right, that little bug will be off track left and right, and I don't have to try to stare at the numbers on the instrument. Okay, everything was good. Okay, so we got everything. Got the weather. We know they're using runway 9er. Now, whenever we're ready to go, which we are right now, let me check something. Our controls are free and correct. I say we're ready to go. Our trim, what's our trim look like? It's good. Pitch trim, takeoff trim, see? Our takeoff trim. I'll show you. Look down here. You can see it moving. Watch. See that wheel? See that little white mark moving? That's nose down trim. If I want takeoff trim, that TO stands for takeoff. I want that right there, right in the middle. Now we're ready for takeoff. That's the trim you want for takeoff. Okay. Hope I'm not boring anybody. I figure if you're hanging around this long to watch this, it'd be kind of cool. Okay. Whew, here we go. Flying us wacko. Okay. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to try my best to keep it in one piece. Try not to bounce it around too much. Alright. Are we ready? I don't have my perfect checklist here, so we're good. Fuel's on, fuel pump's on, trim's good. All our gauges are in the green. Alright, let's go ahead and call for taxi permission. We'll call ground again. Grande ground. Wacko, November 965 Papa Tango at FBO ramp. Ready to taxi VFR.
Wacko 5 Papa Tango, runway 9er, taxi via Bravo. Bravo 4.
Taxi runway 9 or 5 Papa Tango. Let's see if we can do this. Alright, parking brake off. Parking brake is off. Okay. I'm turning the strobe light on. Alright, here we go. I can't see anything. That's another thing with a big honking tail dragger like this. You can't see what's in front of you, so when you taxi you have to zigzag and try to look over your to the side of your cowling so you can see what's in front of you. That's how they do it. I can't move that far on this one. I cheat in here. I go like this. And here we go. Work that. Alright. On to Marcedita.
Contact tower on 135.875. Bye-bye.
Contacting tower, 5 Papa Tango. So I'll put the tower frequency in now. And then what I'm going to do real quick is put the departure frequency so I won't have to do that while I'm flying around. I won't have to do that while I'm busy during takeoff. So, all right. So we'll right here, set the brake. I'm going to go ahead and put our departure frequency, which was 119.4. And there it is. When they tell me to change that, I can just swap that over. And, oh, here comes somebody. A Diamond TA, look at that. It's a Diamond. Called a Diamond TA, little twin. Okay. Dominici Tower. Waco, November 965, Papa Tango, runway 9er, ready for departure.
Papa Tango, Fernando Luis Rivas, Dominici Airport Tower, runway 09er, hold short, you're number 1 behind the traffic.
5 Papa Tango, holding short.
Runway 09er, winds 100 at 8, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 9er. Waco 5 Papa Tango. Finally. Okay. Let's get out of here and go to Mercedita. Okay. Alright guys. Bear with me on this one. Okay? Bear with me. Alright, here we are. Everything's good. And we're going. We're going. Come on now, give me 60. There we are. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think I'm going to turn on a downwind and depart off of downwind leg, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Beautiful. I want to stay at 1,000. I don't want to get up into their airspace without their permission. There we go. Going to be passing over the hopefully don't cut in anyone's approach. Beautiful. Beautiful, huh? Alright, let's keep this. Don't go any higher than we are. Let's go. Pay attention. Almost get out of this Class C, then I can climb up. I don't want to go above 1,200 feet right here. Uh-oh. You did. I just busted it. I busted the Class C. All right. All right, so let's turn to a heading of 238 right now. Try to stay on this bearing. Right here. Right there. Yeah. Right on our track.
You're leaving my airspace. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved, 5 Papa Tango. Alright, so that means we can put our transponder code that they gave us back to a VFR code, which is a standard for VFRs. So the controllers will know that I'm no longer being controlled. I'm using my VFR code. Okay, here we go. And here, VFR. There it is, 0, and hit it again, 7,000. There it is. Alright. They can still see our altitude, and they can still see us, but they know it's a uncontrolled Okay, so now we're going to start climbing. I'll climb up to about 4,500 to make it over these mountains. I guess I could, I don't know. I don't have to really climb that high, but we have to stay on a VFR altitude. I know I got to be above 2,500, so anytime you're above 3,000 feet above the ground, you have to be using VFR altitudes, which is on a westerly heading. Any westerly heading, which we are on right now, flying VFR, we need to be at even thousands plus 500. So I would have to be at, as long as you're above 3,000 feet above the ground level. Now I could fly at 3,000 feet or a little below and then squeeze on over through the mountains, which I might do. But to assure we make it over the mountains, I want to be at the next VFR altitude I can use above 3,000 feet is 4,500. So if I'm on any westerly course above 3,000 feet above ground level, magnetic heading, I would have to have 4,500 feet, 6,500 feet, 8,500 feet, like, and so forth. I can't fly this westerly heading legally VFR on odd thousands. You only use odd thousands if I'm on an easterly heading. So it'd be like, if I was headed east, I'd be flying like 3,500, 5,500, 7,500, and so forth. So that's the thing with VFR. If I was an IFR aircraft, it's just even thousands. It's the same east-west conditions as far as even at odd altitudes, but you still have to fly just on IFR. You'd be flying 4,000, 6,000, and so forth. If that makes any sense. So right now I'm at 2,000. Let's go to 2,500 and see what happens. I like to be lower so we can see our landscapes good and see anything we want to see. We got some kind of a little water thing going down here. Some sort of a lago. Oh, that's Lago La Plata. Lago La Plata, that's what that is. Lago La Plata. Okay, we're gonna be, let's just hang around 2,500 feet for the meantime. Let's go up, see if we can go on up to about 2,500. Lago La Plata. Beautiful. Still got a little bit of a haze. Not too bad. Not too bad. Alright. I shouldn't have to lean it much. I'll try a little bit. Use a little bit of leaning, not too much. There we are. See if we can squeeze on through here on this heading. This is a VFR Naranjito, some mine over here somewhere. Let's see. Let's get a view from underneath. Yeah, I'll leave that belly view so we can look down and see. Look at this. Nice. Oh, I'm at 3,000. I'm at, let's go stay just below 3,000. I'm going to stay around 3,000. Just don't call the FAA on me, okay? I'm going to probably be a little sketchy on some of these regs right now. This is sparsely populated, so I can be within 500 feet of anybody, anything other than towers, which is, I've got a tower coming up that's at 2,700. There's a tower up here somewhere. Ah, there it is, off my left wing. There's a tower. I'm actually, you know, the tower. If this was an actual flight, I would not be legal flying this close to this cell tower over here. If you look off to the left, you see this cell tower? Normally I would have to be 1,000 feet above it, or 2,000 feet horizontally from that tower. There it is, though. Cell tower. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I stayed low here. This is beautiful. Look at it. This is Botijas. Over here is Botijas. That's what it says on my map. Botijas. Huh? Botijas. Wow. Little pueblo. What is that over there? That's oh, maybe that's Botijas over here. Let's fly over here. To the right a little, yeah. Orocovis? Orocovis. Oh, this is Orocovis. Why have I heard of this before? Orocovis. This is Orocovis. Okay. Alright. Where are we in relation to? I want to make sure we go over that lake too. Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. Orocovis. Maybe I remember seeing that sign when we were in the car. Yeah. Yeah. Now we're going to climb up to 3,500. Make sure we make it over this ridge. How beautiful is this, huh? How beautiful is this? Oh, another cell tower up there too. Orocovis, off to the right. Orocovis. Orocovis, off to the right. There's a point on this next ridge that is straight ahead of us, 3,156 feet. So we should clear this. No problem. Oh, look, I can see the Caribbean now on the other side of the island. Look at that. How beautiful is that? How, I mean, anyone that lives up on these mountains. There's another cell tower. Look at that. Anyone that lives up on these mountains can see. Oh, wow. Look at that view, huh? Wow. Look at this view. You can see the Caribbean here, almost all the way to Ponce, and you can look back and see San Juan. Wow. Man, how beautiful, huh? Up in these mountains. Look at this. Wow. Let me get back on my track so we can find our lake. I should be. If I go straight from here, we can find our lake. On the way to Mercedita. Oh, look how beautiful. Wow. I mean, this is simulated Puerto Rico, but it's still beautiful. Look at that. Uh-huh. Wow, gorgeous. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Man. Wow. This is, oh, there's a lake down there. Let's go on back a little. Let's go down and fly the lake. I want to see this lake and this dam. Lake Guayabel. Lake Guayabel. I want to see Lake Guayabel. And as we get closer to Mercedita, I'm going to put in the communications for them so I can let them know what I'm doing right here. I can hear if there are any other aircraft around here. Let's go to put in the Mercedita info. That's going to be 122.7, right? 122.7 is what I want to communicate on. 122.7. I'll just put that in there so I can let them know what I'm doing. All right, here we are. Lake Guayabel. And Mercedita traffic, Waco 5. Papa Tango is over Lake Guayabel at 2000 on a surveying mission. We'll be in the area en route to Mercedita for landing. Mercedita. Alright, let's look at this. What we got going on here? Oh, nice. Lake Guayabel. Yeah. Lake Guayabel. Let's go back here. Look at that. Now we're going to go Lago Guayabel. Lago Guayabel. Lake Guayabel. Here's the dam up here. That thing has some kind of a spillway. Let's see. Oh. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Lago, I don't see any boats or anything. Look at that. Spillway. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. Let's Don't go too low. We're at pattern altitude already here for about, what is this little town after this? It doesn't say. Juanadillas. Juanadillas? I think Juanadillas is up here. It's Juanadillas. Yeah. Towers, town. Look at this. Very nice over here. Get back on our GPS track. Climb up to about 1500 after the sightseeing tour. Wow, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, there should be a couple twin towers up ahead. Shows it on my sectional chart, and there they are. Juanadillas. So this is Juanadillas. Juanadillas right here. Juanadillas. And actually what we can do now is we should be looking right at the airport here, not far off. Probably 5 miles out. And Marcedita traffic. Waco 5 Papa Tango is over Juanadillas. 1,500 inbound to land. I'll be entering a crosswind. A right crosswind for runway 12. Runway 12. 12. Marcedita. So that's what I'll do. I'll enter a right crosswind for. There's the Twin Towers. Yeah, see the airport off there? There's Marcedita. There's Ponce off the right wing. Ponce out there. And this is Marcedita. All right. We're on line for a right crosswind. And Marcedita traffic, Waco 5 Papa Tango. It's on a 2-mile crosswind, right crosswind entry for runway 12. 12 Marcedita. All right. There it is. It's looking good. There's Ponce. Oh, it's beautiful out. Beautiful. All right, let's slow this thing down. Slow it on down. Get down to about 1,100 feet for our pattern altitude. There we are. And Marcedita traffic. Waco 5 Papa Tango. Right crosswind. Runway 12. Marcedita. There we go. There we are. And Marcedita traffic. Waco 5 Papa Tango turning right downwind for runway 12. 12 Marcedita. And I'm turning now. There we go. Always announce what you're doing. Normally, like I said, this used to be a controlled airport they've got a control tower, but they're not using it for some reason right now. It used to be, I guess, it was a very busy airport. I see the control tower down there. It's a big airport. It's nice. I can see the 2 terminals also. They had jet service in here. Okay, oh, a little low. Try to stay at 1,000 feet at least. I think the airport elevation is 37 feet, so you want to be at least 1,000 feet above that for your pattern altitude. All right, beautiful. There's Ponce straight ahead. There it is, straight ahead to Ponce. It's beautiful out here. All right. All right. When I get to this mound, hopefully I can do a pretty landing in this thing. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up, man. All right. Let's turn our landing light on for the fun of it. Pre-landing checklist. All right. Extras rich. Landing gear is down. Thank goodness. It's always going to be down in this thing. All right, let's see what we can do here. Mercedita traffic. Waco 5. Papa Tango turning right base. Runway 12, 12. Mercedita. We want about a 90 mile an hour, 87 to 90 mile an hour, I guess. Hold around 80, 85, I guess, for an approach on this thing. There we go. Now we should be pretty much coming on down. It should be about 700 feet or so by the time we turn final. Hold our speed up. Let's keep our speed up. Okay. And Mercedita traffic. Waco 5 Papa Tango turning final. Runway 12, 12. Mercedita. Full stop. Landing. All right. All right. Let's pull it back. There we go. Pull it on back. Let's see what happens. There's Mercedita. There it is. Okay, let's we're a little high, but that's okay. That's okay. I want to be high in this. I got plenty of runway, lots of runway to do a landing in this thing. Look at all these power lines all the way around this thing. Wow, it's like a fence. Wow, this thing is surrounded with power lines. Look at that. All the way around. Okay, pay attention, Benny. Be careful now. Focus, man, focus. Madre mia. Here we go. Okay, easy flare, nice and easy. Oh, don't bounce it. Don't bounce it. Slow it down. Oh, easy, easy. Oh yeah, let's let it just drop down. Come on. Oh yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that has to be the best landing I've ever done in this thing. Now, just to get it stopped without ground looping. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Hey, I'm proud of myself. Hang on, hang on. Easy. Easy, all right. Wow, that had to be the best landing ever in this thing. Oh, I gotta remember how I did that. Whew. I'll tell you how I did it. With no wind. There's the tower, here's Mercedita. And Mercedita traffic, Waco 5 Papa Tango is clear of the runway, Mercedita. Wow. Might have to walk around here a little bit. Look at that tower. Look at the mobile station. La Tiendita. Awesome. Look at that. La Tiendita. Huh? Look at that shopping center across the street. That's nice. Wow. Look at the flags over there. All right, this is nice. Wow. Wow, beautiful. Nice scenery. Nice scenery. Very nice scenery here. Let's cruise over here and see. We'll see what the front of the airport looks like. Hangars over there. Hey, this is pretty nice scenery. Like, what do you think? There's the jetways. What does that say? Let's see over here. Let's see. There's the old jetways. Look. Aeropuerto Mercedita. Look at that. Aeropuerto Mercedita. There's the two jetways. Huh? Fueling station, the firehouse. Looking around, just looking around at Mercedita. Oh, this is cool. Nice airport, yeah. So yeah, there they are. They had jetways. Okay. Let's take a look at the front of the airport. I always like doing that. And look over here. I like that. I like that over there. They got the shopping centers. Huh? There's a parking lot. Parking lot. Let's see what it looks like. The front of the airport looks like. Huh? We'll turn around here. It's not very busy today, so they won't care if I'm just using my airplane as a golf cart to explore the airport. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Aeropuerto Mercedita. There it is. That's a good shot. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, guys, it looks like it was worth the scenery. I bought that scenery and it was worth it. Beautiful scenery. I'd say it probably represents the Mercedita Airport very well. I like the little market over here. I want to see something here. I want to take a look at this market over here a little closer. Towers. There's the hangars. It's beautiful. And there's power lines all the way around this thing. Hola. 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 Let's see. All right. See if we can get a view of those markets. That's a good shot. That's a good shot there. Look at that. Wow, that's a good shot. I like that. That's awesome. That's an awesome shot at Mercedita. That's awesome. I like it. Wow, look at that. Huh? Oh, that's a good shot, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that shot. Isn't that beautiful? I like it. That's a nice screenshot. I'm taking a screenshot of that. Wow. That's awesome. Alright, let's see. There's the stores. Look at that. Ah. That's good scenery. Someone took the time, really, to. That's probably what's actually there. Oh my goodness. That's probably exactly what is there. Look at that. Huh? Oh, now, next time I'm there, I'm going to have to go check this out now. I bet if you look on the, look, La Tiendita, Wholesome. I saw those. I remember those. Mobile. There it is. Isn't that cool? Great scenery, guys. I love this. I love this scenery, too. It's awesome. Look at that. Aeropuerto, Mercedita. I like that. It's a good picture there, too. There you go. I like it. Beautiful. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this flight and the scenery of Mercedita Airport. I sure did. Could you tell? That was our Puerto Rican adventure number 2, and I look forward to making Puerto Rican adventure number 3. I'm not sure where I'll go next, but we'll find out together when you see me next time. Adios. Hasta luego. See you next time. Thanks for watching.